Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Back of the Net. My name's Sam Davis.
I'm Tiggs.
And I'm Tom.
If you don't recognise the location, you can't be a regular viewer, are you? We're at the Parrot Parley in the heart of West Parley. We're out here sat in their stables, but it's a fantastic place for great food, great drink, massive garden, lovely restaurant, Tom.
Yeah.
It's one of your places you come regularly, eh?
Absolutely, yeah. It's brilliant location and yeah, like I say, massive beer garden, really nice food. So yeah, so all you need is to get yourself down.
Yeah, the pair at parley.com. Thanks for Sam for putting us up here. But this show is all about AFC Bournemouth's squad depth. It's been a conversation that's been on the lips of many a cherry over the past week as we tentatively look forward to our curtain raiser against West Ham. It's fair to say it was really optimistic at first, and then there's been a slight bit of pessimism with injuries, players that haven't got over the line that we thought we were going to get over the line, and we're going to take a look at every position, and then Tom here is going to suggest one player for each and every Premier League club that we could feasibly sign. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll give it a good go. I don't think Haaland's too happy at Man City, so maybe we can snap him up. But yeah, I think I've managed to make a case for every club that we might be able to get in if we needed to. But yeah, as you say, mate, we'll go into it. But few little areas that we need to fill gaps.
We don't know if this format is copyrighted by James Alcott, but we're stealing it anyway. There's the pitch, and there are the positions. So, starting in goal, mate, it's fair to say I think we're okay for goalkeepers. We sent Mark Travers out on loan, which I think a lot of Bournemouth fans thought was quite questionable, but we've got strength there. Of course, Neto our number one, but Radu as well, and Darren Randolph too. So we're doing all right in that position.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know what you think, Tiggs, but I think it was. I think it's a smart move that it was a loan for Travers because I think at that age for a goalkeeper, it's not going to do him any good just sat on the bench.
No.
It's just not going to do him any good.
Not
and
again.
We've got Randolph and Neto who are both older. So if we believe Travers is the future and he's going to play, and then we can get him back, or if we decide we're okay, we can get some money for him because he's bloody good for Stoke. So bringing in another goalkeeper on loan just to fill the gap, I think is ideal. And obviously we've got the experience of Randolph if needs be, if any injury problems. But yeah, I'm happy there. And at the moment, Neto's still the skipper as well, isn't he?
And Alexandra Burke as well. We get to keep her.
Yeah, of
Which is
course.
nice.
Hallelujah.
Came along to some games last
Come
season.
on the fan cams.
Yeah, come on the fan cams. Why
please,
not?
yeah.
Wouldn't that be good? Okay, centre backs then. Let's go through our list that we've got. Marcus Senesi, Ilya Zabani, Lloyd Kelly, Chris Mepham, James Hill.
Yep.
Happy?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So which of those are left-footed and which of those are right-footed?
So we've got Senesi and Kelly, a left foot, and the other three are right foot, I believe. Yeah, I think that's. Listen, if we want to compare to last season, Hill was out on loan and we had Jack Stevens.
Yeah.
We've decided maybe that Hill can just fill that void, and from the little bits I've seen, I think he's been fine.
Yeah.
I think he's okay. I don't think we need a centre half. No, I'm quite happy in there. Maybe you could say last season if we had real bad injury problems, Lerma could sit in.
Yeah.
I know we did at the start, didn't we? We went to back three, but no, I think they're capable, and I think if we end up, we'll go into the fullbacks. But if we end up bringing in some players at fullback, we might get ones that can also play centre half. That happens a lot. So, but yeah, I think we're in a good position. I think we've got. I mean, really, if you say they're all fit, take James Hill out maybe, 'cause still a little bit unknown. Zabani, Senesi, Mepham and Kelly, I'd be happy with any two.
Yeah.
I really would. I think Zabani and Senesi are the two for me, but any two I think would be comfortable. I think that's four really good centre halves.
So,
Agreed.
fullbacks, left back wise, Milos Kerkez, a Lloyd Kelly at a stretch, but
Ben Greenwood at a stretch.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So we need to strengthen there.
Maybe. I think
Why are you saying maybe?
because Kerkez is so nailed on that it's going to be very hard to get a really good left back to come and be back up. Do you go, actually, we need a right back that could potentially play left back, which we've already got in Adam Smith. That Kerkez is the main man. If anything happened to Kerkez, you've still got Smith and Kelly who could go there,
Yeah, agreed.
and Tavernier,
Yeah.
who's played weak left wing back before. So I think it's more right back, and I think, you never want an injury there to Kirk, so I think we could cope.
So is this flexibility thing something that Iraola, do you think, looks for in his players to fill in different positions?
Definitely. And we've seen that with the players that we've been purchasing since, well, actually,
For a
the
while.
last two seasons.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Versatile.
maybe that's a plan
Yeah.
for everybody, not just Iriola's plan.
Yeah, I think there's versatility there. And I think, like we said, with the centre-half strength we've got, I think he would be comfortable with Kirkes, and if anything happened, Kelly could play there. I think that'd be the first point of call. Yeah, I think we're right there. I think ideally everyone thought, if we get Vina on loan, that'd be really handy. But that's not going to be the case. So I think we need to go for the other side, which we'll go on to now, I'm sure.
You're medically trained, aren't you? So you can tell me whether players are injured or not.
Of course.
Okay, so Adam Smith?
Injured.
Ryan Fredericks?
Injured. I think Simon Francis is available. Yeah, we're in a bit of a sticky situation there. The Smithy injuries hurt us because I think we all knew we needed a right back anyway. No disrespect to Smith, but he's, for him to be our main right back for the whole season again is a lot to ask from him, especially with the intensity and the energy that he wants from his fullbacks.
It's going to be a different game to what he had last season.
Yeah, I actually think he's done quite well in pre-season, the games he's played. But yeah, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, Fredericks doesn't seem reliable. Can't really remember. I think he might have played 90 minutes for us since he's joined the club. He barely done anything of note, as I always think. The only game I think is come on at half-time against Nottingham Forest when we were 2-0 down. Apart from that, he hasn't really done much, and I haven't seen him train at all. But no one knows what the injury is. So he feels like one that, to be honest, if it's really bad, might not even be named in the squad. So right back's definitely somewhere we need to strengthen, for sure. A few little links, but nothing major. But yeah, I think we'll definitely look to try and bring a right back in. But you never know, Jane Anthony might be a new right back, who knows, I don't know. But yeah, I'd like to strengthen. Do you agree, Tiggs?
I do, yeah, and I think, Iriola was a right back. So, it's not like he's not going to see the importance of having somebody who can really do that job well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, although I do think it's interesting, isn't it? Adam Smith, didn't he used to be a right midfielder?
He has played there before, yeah.
And then he got kind of retrained, his later years at Tottenham, and then we've done the same. Maybe we're going to do the same thing. Maybe we're going to train someone to be from a right midfield to right back, because we do seem to have a lot of wingers.
True.
But ideally, you're right. You get someone out there who can actually push Adam Smith.
Yes.
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
How do you want to do the midfield? Do you want to sort it by defensive midfielders, attacking, or let's just lump them into one category, shall we?
We can't do defensive midfield, Sam.
So, central midfield: Lewis Cook, Joe Rothwell, Gav Kilkenny, Phil Bill.
Yeah.
Although Phil Bill's role is
probably more, but you
put him in somewhat.
Yeah, you would put him in centre midfield, wouldn't you? I suppose. Is that it? Really? Is that it? We've got, as we'll go on to with the wingers, you could make a case if they're a little bit more advanced for a Christie, for a Brooks, being able to do the role is what I mean.
There's a real danger that Phil Bill could be. Considering
double pivot, deeper.
And that's the. But then you see his stats, and you think, how can he seriously be considered in that position? But then you look at the other players that we've got. We've got a lot of attacking talent and players that could maybe fill Bill's position where he's best.
Agreed.
But are they as good as Phil Bill? Probably not.
No, maybe. Well, I think it's one of them we haven't seen yet. So Traore's a prime example we haven't seen yet. But in centre midfield, I think what also is, I remember at Southampton we went with Cook, Billing, Christie.
Yeah.
And Christie was the double pivot, actually, and Billing was further up. So maybe he looks at Christie like that, but I think you'd want him a bit higher. But
when Phil Bill played deeper, did we think he was specifically poor in that position, or was it just a case we missed his attacking impetus?
Just missed his attacking impetus.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing if the others actually step up.
If the others step up, maybe.
Yeah, if they get the goals, if they get this. His interceptions, no matter where he plays on the pitch, has always been consistently high.
Yeah.
And his coverage of kind of how much he runs has always been high. So I don't think you're getting any less out of him in that respect. It's just that we're not getting someone else who's chipping in with goals.
Yeah.
Christie, with all due respect, he runs so much and he works so hard, but he's not yet. Has he shown us that?
No. It's in an ideal world, you want Billing higher up for sure, and that being an option if we needed to do it. Yeah. We'll definitely strengthen that area. I actually think we'll probably get more than one.
Yeah.
In a central area and probably a little bit more defensive minded. But yeah, I think Lewis has shown that he's capable. I wouldn't want that to be our only option. I think that would probably be it going into the season, and I think he's shown he can do it. But just a little bit more of not a destroyer. I don't want to say, because I don't think Iriola will want to play with someone that just sits there. No. So they've got to have a bit of energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm describing Lerma here.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, they've got to be able to be, even if it's a couple more maybe box-to-box like players that can just sit a little bit deeper in transitions and stuff and have got a little bit more of a defensive mindset, I guess. Because I'd say it's not a bad thing, but I think all of our central players that you mentioned are quite front foot, looking forward every time, want to make something happen. You just need a little bit more of a balance in there, I would say, but we'll get a couple in there.
It's a potential opportunity, though, isn't it, for players who, look, let's say you are Joe Rothwell, right, and you're thinking, well, Lewis Cook he's playing ahead of me in that 8. But if I show that I can be adapted when Jaden Anthony's on the right back, if that's what ends up happening, it's an opportunity for people, isn't it, to kind of stake a place that they wouldn't necessarily have got under a previous manager in a previous squad. Yeah,
because Rothwell will be going, well, look at all the players who are bringing in attacking midfield. I'm not going to be an attacking midfielder then. How did I get myself in the team last season? By being a bit deeper. Maybe I'm going to have to do that. And I think he's capable of doing that. It's another one. It's just an odd one that when we signed Rothwell, he was getting goals in that. Right, we've never actually seen him in that role, probably because of how good Billing was being.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, and I think there is a case to say Traore could play deeper. I know he has done it before.
I've seen him, do that,
But I think he's so energetic, so lively. I don't think you'd get that kind of discipline from him in that role, maybe. But that's a position we'll strengthen.
So in our attacking midfield areas, and then we'll go to each side specifically. Hamed Traore. We'll say Ryan Christie as attacking midfielder. Marcondes is out.
Yeah,
I've seen him in the stands.
Have you? Yeah, I think he's very likeable. I just can't see him playing any minutes. I don't know if has he still got a year left. I think he might just have a year left. Yeah, and I think it'll be a similar one when we talk about Jamal Lowe's the other one.
Yeah, Jamal Lowe's still on the
But it's a position that Phil Bill obviously successfully fills.
Yeah.
So whether we'll need to strengthen in that area, I'm not particularly sure. I think we'll be okay.
I think Brooks can play there as well.
Brooks can do it.
Exactly. So and
even Solanke could do it.
And that's where people like James Alcott probably struggle because they know that you can put
the wingers in.
You can copy and paste a name into quite a few of these fields.
Yeah, agreed.
Especially Ryan Christie.
Oh yes, but so on the left-hand side then, we have got Tavernier, Kluivert, Jaden Anthony.
Natural left, I agree with that. Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. You happy with that?
That's really strong.
On the right-hand side, Dango Ouattara, David Brooks.
Yeah, that's fair. I think you could easily make a case of Christie over there, as you said.
Yeah.
And I also think what's been noticeable, probably because of Tavernier's injury, is he's been quite happy to play Dango on the left, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We've played Dango. It wouldn't shock me if on the opening day it's Brooks and Dango actually. You've put obviously both naturally right, but they could be both, especially with the fact that Jaden might have to get a right back. But yeah, I think we've got well enough in them areas.
And Jamal Lowe's out on loan. We could always get him back if we needed to.
Jamal Lowe, we've got Semenyo can play there as much as he's more of a striker. He can play there, so I think we've got enough options in there. Even the ones we've talked about in midfield, like Traore, they can play off a wide area if needs be. So I think we're fine.
In terms of our centre forwards, Dom Solanke obviously is absolutely pivotal for us. But then we got Kiefer Moore, who's always strikes me as and this sounds as though it's sort of discrediting his footballing style a little bit, but a plan B.
Yeah, I get that.
And then Antoine Semenyo, he's scored a Premier League goal, but we haven't really seen much of him, and of course he's been injured in pre-season as well. But I'd love to know what his potential is, but we don't know it yet.
No, it sounds like there's everyone really raves about him. We just haven't seen it. So he might be someone that ends up becoming a player that we didn't realise we had, to be honest. So real shame for him, I'm sure, that he's had that injury, because new manager, he would have had a clean slate, if you like. Solanke's the main man. Kiefer Moore, as you said, is often a plan B. Could we do with one more?
Yeah, see, I'm not sure.
I don't think it's priority.
I don't think it's priority either. I think if, for example, we get to the end of the transfer window and Kiefer Moore ends up going to Cardiff, which has been rumoured, then we have to have someone lined up to come in for that. But I think otherwise, I think he's going to be quite happy with the options that he's got there, because I don't think that's where he is expecting the goals to come all from. I know we get frustrated, and I definitely do, that Dom has not been in the goals in the pre-season. The end of the last season, not so great. But actually, I don't think he's going to be
the main goal. And then Billing showed that, and he pops up, and then I think that the wide areas, as you say, get goals. Also, I know for previous clubs, Kluivert has often played up top.
Yes.
And I think there'll be games where he might go and join in a lot. up top, and he just does look like someone that could pitch in with a few goals.
Yeah,
I think Dango, once he gets a bit, he can get some goals. We've seen with Brooksy. I think we've got goals from other areas now, so I agree with you, Tiggs. But I think if Moore suddenly goes, I want to go and play, then we will only do it if we know we've got someone coming in.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I do feel like there's so many other priorities. I don't think we're going to get another striker.
So 3 or 4 light, are we? Maybe? Who knows? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Before you do that, you can do a couple of things to help our channel, one of which involves a thumb, Tiggs.
Give us a big like. Go on. You know you want to. We really appreciate it.
And then when you've clicked on the like, just move slightly. It's only slightly over, isn't it? There's a big fat red subscribe button. Click that, and then you're all done. Won't tell you to do it again. But yeah, we'd really appreciate that.
I'll tell you what, we seem to be looking to Europe quite a bit for a lot of our transfers.
Oh right, yes. Let's get away from yourself.
Yeah, we're going Europe.
Take 17. Thank you very much. What are you talking about?
And it's weird because we've always sort of usually gone for homegrown sort of championship talent, and some players' names that we've been linked with, or transfer deals that did happen, well, nearly happened, i.e. Castrovilli, like players that come out of nowhere. But what we're going to do now, in a slight twist, is we're going to raid each Premier League club for one player, a feasible player that could fit well within the Andoni Iraola system. And we'll start with Arsenal. Who could we feasibly get, mate? Who could we feasibly
So what I've done with Arsenal is obviously that's one that it's going to have to be someone that's not playing that regularly.
Yeah.
So they think, okay, I'm going to play for Bournemouth. And I was looking at it and going, what do we need? We were talking about it a little bit. If we could get a fullback that is also capable of playing anywhere across the back four, but can't get in the team at the moment after a good start at Arsenal, was Tomiyasu. Remember, Tomiyasu is a bloody good player when he first went to Arsenal, Japanese right back naturally. And then he'd fit in at left back, then he'd play centre half.
Ben White would often go right back and look better.
Exactly, they've got Ben White now, they've brought in Timber.
Yeah.
Zinchenko's there, they've still got... I'd thought about Tierney as well, but I think he's just a left back. Tomiyasu can cover all them positions. I think... that was the one I went for. That's the one I went for. Tomiyasu. It might have to be... Can we have him for a season? On loan. Yeah, that was my shout, because I think it's hard with Arsenal because a lot of them are quite high level.
Yeah.
But I think, Tomiyasu I went for.
Aston Villa, who have we got?
So Aston Villa, I thought, if they've got, a bit like when we were talking about Kiefer Moore, because they've got Ollie Watkins, main man, he's always going to start every week, their backup striker must be thinking, I could do with some more game time. He went out on loan, he was good for the England under-21s, Cameron Archer, centre forward, in the England under-21 squad, went out on loan to, did he go to Borough, I think, done really well. They wouldn't want him to go permanently because he's got a high ceiling, but at the moment he ain't going to get in over Ollie Watkins. He might think, you know what, I could play for a Premier League team, quite like the beach.
Can you remember the last Archer, Tiggs, that played for AFC Bournemouth?
I can.
You last Archer?
Yeah.
Did he officially sign?
No, he didn't.
I've got it. You got it, Tiggs?
No, I haven't got it.
Jordan Archer, goalkeeper.
Betway Cup.
Betway Cup, champion.
Betway Cup, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
He ended up going to QPR.
What was he
for a
doing
bit.
there?
Yeah.
That's right. He was with us for like 2 weeks, wasn't he?
Like a
In the
trial
pre-season.
period, but he's a Betway Cup champion. So
We could probably raid Brentford, can we?
Brentford, maybe a little bit more comfortably than the others, I guess, but still difficult. I was looking at their team. They've got obviously lost a striker, so they're probably not. Their depth's not as strong as it was. I don't think. I think they might struggle. But I'm going again to that fullback position that can play both sides. Will know Ryan Christie very well because he's Scottish. Aaron Hickey, who plays right back, plays left back, has struggled to play regularly for them because they've got Rico Henry at left back, who's very, very good.
Yeah.
But he's someone that's still quite young, and I think if they might be more of a future one. But if they were to go down, he's the type of player that I think someone will pick up. So Aaron Hickey, I've gone with her.
Good shout. Brighton and Hove Albion.
Yeah, I've gone for a curveball here.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know if we would. Would it be realistic? I don't know. They're trying to strengthen, aren't they? Because they've got into Europe, so they're trying really hard to keep. Because it's hard for them because the expectations keep rising because they're doing. So, is there a few players they think actually you've been great, but maybe we're going to upgrade now and go a bit younger? So, could we go? If Solanke gets a knock who needs some competition, Danny Welbeck loves a press, loves a high press, can play in wide areas, can play in a lot of areas. I think Andoni would like him. Danny Welbeck, mate. That's what I've gone for there. I don't know if that's a little bit unrealistic.
I like that.
He's not playing week in, week out for him.
No, he's not.
Danny Welbeck.
And we were talking about like players from the Championship. A team that's just got promoted, Burnley. Now, who could we possibly raid from them, Tom?
Burnley. Who have I gone in with Burnley? Yeah, Burnley's difficult because you think, are we above them because they've only just gone up? But then, bit of a project under Company.
Yeah.
I think they're quite strong. I've gone for Cullen in midfield. I think he was a youngster at West Ham, and he went over to Belgium, so that's why Vince Company knew him really well. But he's a really under the radar, good central midfield player. Plays a little bit deeper, which obviously we're looking at. It would be hard to get anyone from Burnley because I think they're like project and they go. But I think if I looked at them, I'd think if they start struggling a little bit, could we go? Yeah, he's one of their better players. So yeah, I've gone for Cullen.
Okay, and what about then? I mean, they've got a bloated, overly bloated Chelsea squad. What would you pick from there?
Well, can we just find something in the contract and say, Jackson, you have to come back because he's done really well for him. I've actually gone because they're trying to strengthen at the back. I know they've given Colwill a new deal. They've still got Thiago Silva there. They've got a lot of options. And I was looking at Trevor Chalobah, who's made a few games at centre half, which I know we're quite strong in. But he's also played defensive midfield naturally, and he's also played right back. And I think that's exactly what we need. I think it's one that would potentially be a loan, but he looks like someone that if he doesn't make it this season, he might not be quite up to the Chelsea level. Still young, English, so yeah, Trevor Chalobah.
One of the teams that I think has been, when you look at the prediction videos of like YouTubers, this following team, Crystal Palace.
Oh yeah.
Some of them, someone said that they're going to get relegated. I think was it Goldstein who said no, it's not Goldstein. Goldbridge, sorry, not Andy Goldstein. He said 18th, Crystal Palace.
They smashed us twice last season.
But then someone else,
Zaha
said
11th. Yeah.
But are there, because they've got a lot of young, decent players. Whereabouts do you reckon we could feasibly strengthen? Like which?
Jefferson Lerma next. No, I'm joking. I've gone with. I don't know if you two remember him because he hasn't really played a lot since he's gone to Palace. But he was quite live for us. You know when that season we went up in the Championship and Derby had Rooney and they had all them young players there. Malcolm Eboué, who was like a really pacey winger. He actually went to Palace, which I didn't even realise because he hadn't really played. Still young, English. I think if he doesn't get enough game time, because you think out of all the areas, if they keep Elise and they've got Eze, it's going to be really hard to get in them areas. So I think, could he be one? I mean, I wanted to say Lerma, because he gets homesick of Bournemouth or something, but I probably agree with him. I think they could struggle if they don't strengthen because the Zaha sale is big for them. I've got Eboué.
Everton.
Everton, yeah.
So at the end of the last season, they we played them in the last game of the season, didn't we? And they didn't have a great season.
Is it going to be another season where they struggle?
I think it could be, but I think again, I feel like I do it every season, but I think they'll just have enough, especially with Deutsch now. But they're quite tough because they're quite thin on the ground, and it's a weird one, isn't it? Because you don't feel like Everton have put up any trees, but they are a big football club. So I've looked at a player that I'm thinking maybe he wants to take a step up, and he's not happy with the fact that Everton aren't doing as well. Right back is needed. It's not Seamus Coleman, don't worry, he's only 40. Nathan Patterson, Scotland right back. He's one of their star players that's coming through. Really, I think's done really well for him. He's an attacking right back. I just think he's quite Iraola-ish in the way he plays as a full back. So I've gone with him.
Talk to me about the Cottagers.
It's hard with Fulham. I was looking at them and going, it's really difficult because I feel like there's not a lot between the two clubs. But if you're a starter for Fulham, you don't go to Bournemouth. No. But if you're a backup for Fulham, you might not even be quite good enough for us. So I found it quite difficult. I went, again, it's because of an area that we need. I went for a player that's naturally a right back, which is Mbabu, who hasn't really broke into the team, and that's the only reason I went for him, really, because he's had a decent career, but he's gone to Fulham probably expecting to play, and he's struggled to get in the team. So I went with Mbabu, just a right back option.
Liverpool didn't have the best of seasons by their own standards last season. Who do you think we could get from them if we wanted to?
So this one, because I just don't see. There's clearly a player there, but I don't see how he ever breaks into the team. He can play at fullback, but naturally he's a centre half. But I just look at they've got Van Dijk, they've got Konate, they've got Matip, they've got too many. Joe Gomez ain't getting back in. And I just think he's been.
That's a good shout.
Joe Gomez,
that's a really good shout.
I can't believe
he was quite decent.
Yeah, I'm not saying just Bournemouth. I'm just saying I can't believe that he hasn't gone anywhere because he's so highly thought of, but he's never going to play for Liverpool. No. So yeah, I just thought Joe Gomez soon enough he's going to be available to that kind of mid-table, lower league Premier League in my opinion. So yeah, I went with him, and he did used to play at right back. So.
Yeah, good shout. So in terms of you were saying in terms of Fulham. This is the same like category really, Luton Town.
Oh, okay.
In terms of players that,
Yeah.
who could you get that would make the Bournemouth squad? No disrespect intended, of course.
Yeah, I agree. So what I've done there is I've gone the player that I just really like every time I've watched him, and just thinking if Kiefer Moore were to go, and we think last minute we need someone that can compete with Solanke and is that sort of mould, would like crosses in the box, Adebayo, centre forward. I remember seeing him a few times and he just causes chaos up there.
Would he go?
I'm not sure, but I just wonder if they have got some options up there. And I just wonder if we chucked enough money at it, they might think, oh, we could go anyway. Could we do that money? Could we turn his head a little bit? And he's still a decent age. So yeah, I've gone for Adebayo, but like you said, it's a difficult one with Luton.
There's a Norwegian bloke at the Etihad that I don't know. I don't think he's that great. He scores a few goals from every so often. But do you reckon we could?
Oh, I know the guy you mean, the blonde fella.
Yeah. So
Was he on your list or not? I can't remember his name.
I looked at
Erling someone.
I looked at the way he did against us at their place, where Lerma pocketed him, and I just don't think he's got enough. No, I've gone for this. Was literally obviously it's so Harbour City, but I just thought this one just is the only one I can make a case for really, and that's Rico Lewis. He come into the team, didn't he, randomly out of nowhere,
fullback,
at right back, because he was very comfortable. Again, with the positions we need of being inverted.
He's one
fullback,
of them for the future, though. Isn't
yeah, who'd come in. Yeah, so it'd only be alone.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking if Kyle Walker stays at City, which it looks like he may go, they've got so many options at the back. Lewis has had that taste of Premier League football. Could he go, can I have a loan till January or something? Yeah. He could play right back and defensive midfield. That's what we need, so I've just gone with that.
What about the other Manchester club then?
Gone similar in the sense that he's had a few minutes but isn't good enough to be starting week in, week out for Man United. I think he went out on loan to Norwich for a bit. Brandon Williams, just because he can play right back and left back, which we've said would be vital for us. And I think he showed signs that you think he could be a Premier League footballer, but he's never going to play for Man United. I don't think he really has under Ten Hag, to be honest. It was more under Ollie. But yeah, he could be one that I think could offer good competition in the full-back / wing-back role. So yeah, I went with him.
I'm surprised you didn't go for Twanzebe, because you've got your song that's dedicated.
Yeah, don't worry, Twanzebe.
Awful.
Yeah, it was awful, but we nearly signed him once, so we were linked with him, weren't we?
We were linked with him
before Nat Phillips, I think.
Yeah.
So Eddie's Newcastle United. We know a lot about Newcastle United, and if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, on the 11th, in just a couple of days now, you'll be able to watch All or Nothing, where Eddie, right, Bournemouth fans, get used to this, he drops the F-bomb. I didn't think he was capable of doing it. He swears on camera.
Don't feel right.
I don't know how I feel about it.
No, it doesn't feel like he's ever done anything like
and
that before.
You know what though? He's a manager that might want to help out Bournemouth.
Yeah, completely. Oh no, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So who could we feasibly get then from St James's Park? Bring down here.
Because I know what the rumours will be.
What?
Matt Ritchie. Is that who you've got?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Matt Ritchie, I think, is an obvious one because of them links, but he wouldn't. He wouldn't strengthen us now, in my opinion.
No.
I looked at them and they've obviously bought Livramento in from Southampton, who's a right back but can play left back because they got Trippier.
Expensive one.
Dan Burn's been their main left back since he's gone in, so a lad that used to play for Southampton, so he will be used to this sort of area, and is a bloody good left back for me. Just never really broke in at Newcastle. Was Matt Targett.
Yeah.
I think he had a loan at Fulham once as well.
He did.
I just think he's a really good left back. He's just unfortunately isn't quite to that level of them, and now Newcastle are one of the big boys in terms of like kind of top 6-7. So, but I think he'd be good at anyone under that, to be honest. So, yes, we've got Kirkes, which made me think, because again, he'd be competing, he might struggle again. But I struggled to find anyone else at Newcastle. I nearly went Callum Wilson if they signed a few more, but I can't see it.
He wouldn't know. He's.
And Fraser hasn't kicked the ball in long enough, so. Who hasn't been given a squad number this season, by the way. But yeah, Matt Targett, just because I think he's good left back.
Would Fraser suit? Look, Tom, just put all your thoughts aside. Would Fraser suit Iraola's style?
No.
A Fraser from 3 years ago, yeah. Maybe. No.
I refuse to say
No.
All right then, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, who have I got Forest there? Oh, that's annoying, that's straight after, because I've done the same sort of thing, because I looked at him similar to Fulham and all that, and I think, yes, Gibbs White would be amazing, yes, Brennan Johnson would be amazing. I don't see that, why would they come to us kind of thing. So I've done a very similar thing in a player that I always think is good, and I don't know why it hasn't worked there, and it's another left back, it's Harry Toffolo, who they got from Huddersfield, who I thought that's a good signing, and he's just never got in. So I've gone with him. Again, all of this is kind of now we've got Kirkes, but I'm thinking he's the only natural left back we've got, so another one would be ideal, and Toffolo would probably be happy to kind of be an understudy and compete in, because he can't get anywhere near the Forest team. So yeah, tough.
Would I know he's gone now. I think he's gone to Saudi Arabia. Is it Lewis Grabban?
Oh yeah, Grabs. Yeah.
But would he have been, had he not gone? Would he have been?
No.
Would he not?
He's quite old now, isn't he?
He's getting on a bit
now. Yeah,
He got goals though, didn't he? To be fair. He got a few goals.
I think everywhere he goes, he kind of pokes the ball in the net, doesn't he? But no, I don't think he's to that level now.
No.
Okay, what about, I mean, we were talking about this earlier off camera in that Sheffield United not really strengthened really for this season, which doesn't give you a massive pool of players, does it, to pick from?
No, really, really tough because initially I looked at Sander Berg, the midfielder, Norwegian guy, but it looks like he might be going to Burnley, which is a real strange one. So I've gone again, just looked at areas we need, and I've looked at their right back, Jayden Bogle. He's still a good age, 23 I think, so maybe competition there. Right full back where we need, Smithy's getting older, if he's 23, Sealand. Yeah, I've looked at him. Every time I've seen him, he's been okay. So he could be one that we look at. But I found it difficult with Sheffield United.
Now, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I'm not putting words in your mouth here, but I saw some Twitter news that Jed Spence is being transfer listed.
Wow.
Is he one that could potentially join a club like us? I mean, I know he's got issues in terms of how he fits in with the team dynamic.
Yeah, it feels that way. It doesn't feel right that it hasn't quite worked, does it?
Because he's a good player.
He is a good player.
But he's not on your list, no?
He isn't the one on my list. I thought it was... I mean, I didn't want to go too heavy with fullbacks and stuff. But yeah, it's one that I've thought about. But I actually went... This is one that we'll have to see how it plays out because with the new manager, you don't know if he might actually be more in their system. But the one I always think is not quite good enough to start for Tottenham and where they want to be, but I think goes a little bit underrated and is still a good age, was in the under-21s tournament as a sub most of the time for England, is Oliver Skipp.
Yeah.
Just because he's naturally a defensive midfield player, which is obviously what we need.
He was at Norwich, wasn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
But he's just really comfortable on the ball. He's almost a little bit Lewis Cook-like.
Yeah.
So I just looked at that area and thought, that could be one, but it may be realistic, but at the moment I think it depends if the new manager thinks he could be involved, so maybe it would be out of our reach, but that's what I went for.
Now we've got to play these on the opening day, and so we might get some views on this from some West Ham fans. So, you know, who would you pick from West Ham, Tom?
I mean, they're picking Dom Solanke, right?
Yeah, they would be picking Dom Solanke. So what I decided to do was go, and we need, even if Solanke stays, we have murmured about someone that could maybe be happy to be a backup, but could just come on and nick a goal, and it's Danny Ings. It's difficult with the injury record.
He must be cracking on as well.
He is, but I tell you what, if you wanted a striker and you said Solanke's our main man, is there going to be many people that are happy to be a backup that's better than Kiefer Moore? I don't think there is that many, but Danny Ings is one of them, and I don't know if it's realistic, but just because of the links down here, could we maybe get him in just to come off the bench and nick a few goals? I think you're guaranteed goals off the bench from Danny Ings, that's the thing. And I did find it quite difficult. The other one I thought about was the right fullback, Ben Johnson, because I quite like him. But I've gone quite heavy on fullback, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit. So yeah, Danny Ings.
So what about Wolves then, Tom? Have they got any players that could fit in our system?
Yeah, quite tough with Wolves, so I went probably someone that's a little bit more unknown, but hasn't really played much. As a youngster coming through. It's called Joe Hodge, Irish centre midfield player. Quite box-to-box midfield, which obviously we're looking at them sort of players. I know he's highly rated, and I'm probably more thinking future in terms of, I know he's a youngster at Man City, so he's come through a decent academy, but I'm thinking if they struggle, Wolves, as many are anticipating, he might be one that's looked at, I think, by a lot of clubs, that he's someone that they rate highly, and I think you might see him this season with Neves going. I think you might start seeing him coming through. So found it difficult again with Wolves, found that quite tough, but I've gone with him. I quite like Semedo at fullback as well, but I'm so high on fullback, so yeah, going for Hodge.
Hodge. Well,
if we get one of these, by the way, I'll look like a genius, won't I? Any of these players now aside for us.
Richard Hughes is watching this video right now, making notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've got to say, one thing I don't like doing on back of there, I'm quite a humble guy, and I don't want to take credit for most of this video, but Tiggs and myself, I think we've done a world of a job on this video, mate. Don't you think? I've been absolutely superb.
We asked the probing questions.
Yes, yeah, we certainly do. But Tom,
amazing.
There you go. 19 feasible signings for each of the Premier League sides.
Which one I'll give you two. So they have all of them. If you can remember off the top of your head, I have all of them players that I mentioned. If you could only pick one, and we'd get them tomorrow. So I'm probably looking at, obviously, some are harder than others, but like we probably need right back, defensive
Yeah.
midfield players, probably the main option. So Tomiyasu, Patterson, Rico Lewis.
I'd have Tomiyasu.
Yeah, he can fill in a lot of positions, couldn't he? Yeah, I think Tomiyasu, if that was feasible, probably is. I quite like Rico Lewis, a youngster at City, can play right back and defensive midfield.
In terms of proven players, though, Liverpool.
Joe Gomez.
Joe Gomez.
Yeah, I know he'd be a bit more proven.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Let us know if you agree in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a like. That is AFC Bournemouth squad depth, and those are the Premier League based players that we could feasibly bring into the squad. Could we do it if we do sign one, like you say, mate? That would be absolutely huge. Look, we are ramping up our coverage ahead of the game on Saturday. We've got an opposition preview coming up. Myself and Tom, we're going to preview it. Tom's going to do his predicted 11. Are you going to do the West Ham team as well?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
He's going to do that as well. Plus, then it's match day, fan cams, vlog, second look. We do this for every game. Hit that red subscribe button. Really appreciate your time. See you later.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I reckon we're going to get Danny Welbeck, you know. Danny Welbeck. That's a shout, man.
That is a shout.
I think that's a shout.
Do you know what next season we're going to ask you to do one for every European club?
Back in the day! Bolster! Back in the